want you to tell me, because you've now lived on both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
So how do like the smaller organizations populated by people of color get it wrong? What do we do? What does the Latin company do wrong? What does the Black organization do wrong? What does the Asian organization do wrong because of their limited perspective, only operating within an organization that looks and reflects themselves?
Again, I go back to it. It goes back to the fundamental aspect of like the institutions are forcing those situations to happen that are not really the way we behave as a consumer base, right? So I'll give you a perfect example. I just don't want to call out, but there's
no one's ever gonna see this. Don't worry about
it. There's no media company like, look, God bless the people at Univision. I love those guys. God bless the people at Telemundo, and God bless the people at BET. Like, all beautiful people. You know, I've worked with all of them. I've given them a ton of money. Like, and I believe in their cause because you know I'm the culture guy buying all this stuff, but they're creating product that's not really what the consumer. The way the consumer is evolving to. I think they're now being challenged by that. But
they're behind the times, is what you're saying?
No, the system forces them to behave in that way. I'll give you a perfect example. When I created MTV Tres, you know.
Wait, hold on a second. Wait. You said you created MTV Tres.
Yeah. I worked with a team to create that, yes.
No, don't clean it up now, man. You just took credit for all of it, man.
No, I can't take credit for it.
You just said you created MTV Tres.
Yeah. I can't take...
Right, let me give you some props. Javier Farfan from Washington Heights, El Patron, El Tigre, created MTV Tres.
Yeah, with a group of people. We all...
They didn't mean anything, Javier. I know. You did it when
we worked on that, here's a perfect example. We heard the consumer loud and clear. Hey, you know, we live two worlds. Like, we speak English. You know, we listen to hip hop. We listen to Jay as much as we listen to freaking the new urban movement called reggaeton at the time. We knew what the value proposition looked like. We knew how we would have to program it to reflect what they were telling us. We brought it into, the organization. And then the organization is like, this might take a little bit of our MTV dollars from, because it's 18 to 34 and there's, 20% of them are Latino. We have to really make it a little more Spanish.
Make it more Latin.
Yeah, make it a little bit more Latin. It just doesn't, so we're going to cut into our business, whatever. And then you dumbify it. You know what I mean? Same thing happens with, look, there was a need when Univision was created. So props to them the first 20 years. But then it started evolving. But they couldn't because the advertisers were like, I already buy over here at ABC. Like, I'm not going to, oh, you're doing only Spanish language? Okay, I'll give you the money for that. And then they created a niche and you're feeding that monster. And then they don't want to let go of that, right? Because now they dominate.
They become victims of their success, become victims of that structure.
And then they personify that image to Latins.
And Latins are rejecting it, like, yo, that's not me anymore.
Yeah, but but that's all they can get. So they feed off of that, and then they don't kind of evolve.
I see. Oh, so wait, so you're saying these multi-conglomerate organizations that promote images and content that is outdated or doesn't reflect the evolution of the particular population helps to keep that population constrained in the box of. All I do is this. All I know is that.
Exactly.
And then they keep adding to the problem.
Add to the problem.
That's deep.
So that's
super deep, man. Pull up on that one. That was deep.
So that whole process is happening, and so what's the beautiful thing about digital is that it's really leveling everything.
It breaks all those barriers.
It breaks all those barriers. So now you can come in and like say, stop that and start creating stuff. Yeah. And here I am. And even if it's 3 people doing it, you have a lot of them, and then now Univision's like, fuck, now I got to do
what they're doing.
Yeah, I got to figure that out, because I feel like that's something they're saying is actually right, and now that all the research is doing it, but let me do it a little bit.
Exactly.
Not
or
so
let me
much.
buy the company, try to replicate what they're doing, and then end up destroying it because you bring your entire organizational structure and old ways of doing things and just decimate this new budding, nurturing
exactly
thing
right.
we were trying to create.
Exactly.
So,
and look, I love BET. Like, BET is dope. Like, they have some really dope stuff that has come out of it, but they could have pushed the culture forward a lot faster.
Yeah, of course.
And it's the same situation.
But I think the folks in their defense, the folks at BET who may give me money one day for this podcast, I think those people would say in defense, they're doing the best they can under the circumstances they're operating in. Not all could say that, but some, because having worked in these organizations and knowing the layers, you have a situation where it's like, hey, I want to do it this way, but you got to report up to like 3 or 4 bosses, right?
That's my point.
So you the underboss, but you got the boss, right? And you got the boss's boss, and they're like, listen, I don't care. That's my ad dollars. You're not touching that. That's gonna cannibalize my other business. You're not doing that. That doesn't make sense to me from where I'm from in my suburban experience. So you can't do that. And then you're stuck with like, I want to do more, but my hands are tied because I like this paycheck. It's a golden handcuff.
But I mean, it's the same thing. And that's what I'm saying. The institutions don't allow the involvement to happen, right? So that's where I get challenged by it, because really it's not an ethnicity play anymore. It's really a culture and lifestyle play. You have to push that culture forward. I give props to, like, Diddy and what he's doing with Revolt, and even Jay, what he's doing with Tidal, and just everything that he's doing. He's really pushing that agenda. He's combining like high art form with kind of the urban culture, and that's why they've been always kind of pushing that lever. They understand their consumer, and they push the products that they do, and they push them forward, and we have to continue to do that. And what's starting to happen is big celebrities like that could do that now. They could create media companies because they have already a huge following, and then you just have to put it on the web or some digital format, and people will get it.
First I gotta call you, but yeah, that's kind of the part about it. You got to create another MTV Tres for them. All right,
exactly right.
So listen, before we cash out of this